when we're thinking about how to help families in this situation, I think the first thing to think really is to be children follow your lead as a parent. So it's really the first thing to focus on is your own coping, and to build a sort of routine for yourself that you're managing. And once you're doing that, then children usually respond to that. Some children might be very anxious type, and the COVID crisis would increase their anxiety, and they have lots of worries, and they need to be reassured and for things to be talked through. Other kids, it might be just deal with it in a matter of fact way. They might actually like the fact they're off school, and that's there's no problem with that at the moment. So it's about sort of tuning into your children and see what each of them need, I think, when you're thinking about how to help them cope. I think the routine's always about thinking, what are the main important things I need to do in a day, and really sort of identify those first. And they would be things like you need to have a period of study for the kids, or a little bit of homework. You probably need to do your own work. You also need meals. You need to be eating together. I think it varies very much on the child and the age of the child. Of course, a lot of your day with teenagers is supporting them to build their own self-directed routines and continue to do that, and their learning. With primary school kids, I think parents can often get caught up about having to become the teacher. Also can be very flexible about that as well, about what the learning is. Like children might learn much more rather than by rote learning, they might do much more by doing a family quiz, looking up something interesting on the internet, which interviewing granny over the internet about her childhood, and about things like that. Planting seeds in the garden, which learning what they're going to plant, planning it out. They're really, really high quality learning. In fact, if you look at the primary school, teachers are very creative. They have given lists of those are the sort of things that children should be doing at home. So you can really use the opportunity of making meals central to the routine, but making healthy meals central to the routine. And once you do that and keep the boundary, then you don't have to get into unhealthy habits. Other tips around that as well is to keep the simple rules of treats are delayed until later in the day, treats are delayed until all the work is done, until homework's done, until the meals are eaten. Very simple rule that you don't start early in the day, and treats are kept small. So I think with screen times, it has to be sensible, but you have to keep them to some degree of limit by realizing they will be used more often. But equally, look at the real positive aspects of screens and try to build them up. If you place in the routine a few very key non-screen activities, such as meal times, such as your walk, your exercise, such as a bit of dancing, or such as crafts, such as reading time, then the screen times are diminish in importance because they get those important things done as well. If you're feeling positive and strong about what's happening and a good positive plan, your children will follow your lead. Like for some parents, it's very important that they get a bit of work done in each day. I would say as a principal, they also need a little bit of time to themselves, doing a little personal project. That could be a little bit of reading, doing a walk. For some, that's something like meditation or something like that, something formal like that. So you need to think, well, what do I need? What's the important things for me to make me feel good and positive? Having a quality communication with another adult. Maybe that you get a little bit of time where if the kids are young, in the evening, you watch something together and have a chat. Or if they're a little bit older, you go out for a little walk together. So you get your little bit of debrief and time with somebody close to you that can talk things through. So that can make a big difference. I think in those instances, you do have to really reach out and use the technology that's available to keep on a daily basis. You can't just let yourself become cut off and so forth. So I think you have to make this extra step to reach out to your supports to make sure you're availing of them.